Hello ladies and gents, boys and girls, people of all ages, sexualities and identities, and welcome back to another Doctor Who review. And we're back with some more Jodie Whittaker's era with the I'm going to absolutely butcher this name, the Tsuranga Conundrum. There we go, we did it, someone give us a medal, I'm just joking. Right, the Conundrum, okay? That's what I'm just going to say at this point. The Conundrum. Right, so what is this story about? Well, essentially, the Doctor and her friends are using a bunch of metal detectors around a bunch of littered things on a littered planet. It seems the Doctor is searching for something, but the one thing she doesn't realise is she's about to hit a sonic mine. The Doctor and her friends are then absolutely paralysed by this sonic mine, get picked up by a mediship, and then taken out into space to take them back to the most local planet to get the best care. However, the Doctor and her friends manage to wake up halfway through the journey, and the Doctor, even though she is the worst of the rest of them, seems to find herself in a situation in which she wants to help the ship, especially after something seems to attack it. She asks one of the people on board what's going on, and he says that everything is fine, she should get back to her bed. However, she points out that he is an absolutely terrible liar, and that he should really go back to lie school. He says, "I'm not a terrible liar," and then she goes, "Yes, well, so you showed you were lying." Then the pair of them come across a creature known as the Pting. The best way to describe the Pting is think of Lilo and Stitch. Think of how Stitch likes to eat everything that he comes into contact with. Yeah? Something like that. But essentially, the Pting begins to eat away at the ship, and one of the Medi-crew ends up dying because he gets sealed inside of one of the ejection lockers and chucked out into space with no air. The Doctor and the remainder of the crew rush around to try and get rid of the Pting, when the Doctor remembers that whatever it's after seems to be the core of the ship. The only way to get rid of it is to force feed it an energy source that can be used like a bomb. Meanwhile, in another bay of the ship, a man is getting ready to give birth and is really starting to get frustrated. Graham and Ryan become his doulas, essentially like his kind of birth buddies. They begin to have conversations about reproduction, and Ryan and this man find themselves butting heads because of the fact that biology on Earth is very different to how it is in outer space. The man points out that he's been thinking for a while of getting rid of his child, but he's not quite sure. By the end of the story, he decides that he wants to keep his little son and raise him the way he wants. The Pting is destroyed when Yaz and the Doctor manage to kick a bomb into a ejection locker that manages to make the Pting eat it and then flung out into space. Alongside this, one of our celebrity cameos by Doc Brown has a absolutely interesting kind of conflict between his character and one of the characters on the ship and her robot. Turns out that his sister has been taking painkillers that means that she is already partway dying. He promises to be a better brother in future and to stop treating her like a child. The story ends with a really mysterious speech about hope, and I feel like this is one of those rare stories you're either gonna love it or you're gonna hate it. I really like the idea of the Pting, however, I'm really conflicted on the ending of this story as a whole. I understand that the Doctor and her friends are going to be picked up and hopefully brought back to her TARDIS at some point, but I really feel like that being left up to grabs makes it really conflicting on where this story goes next, and for that reason I'm going to give it a 7. out of 10. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next Doctor Who review. Till then, stay beautiful, you beautiful people.